Hello, hello, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Debtbox Crypto Mining YouTube video. Today we're going to be going over an update as well as a big interview from the founders themselves. So let's get right into it. First and foremost, I want to say I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm here for informational purposes only, as well as if you do enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. And let's get right into it. All right, so we'll start off right here. Black gold is sitting at 2.053. It is up 0.26% on the day. Digital link gold is sitting at $70.59. It is down 5.62% on the day. The debt token is sitting at $12.24. It is down 6.78% on the day. Nat G is sitting at 3.041. It is up 2.32% on the day. The GROW token is at 94 cents. It is down 1.22% on the day. XPLR is sitting at 0.020. It is up 5.79% on the day. Aluminum is sitting at 0.023. It is up 0.98% on the day. Total value of all assets is sitting at $122,094. Let's get right into rewards. The GROW token, I mined 33.87 GROW last cycle for a total of $31.85. Mining balance is sitting at $238.13 GROW. Mining balance value is at $223.86. I do hold 5 of those licenses and I do have 1 referral point. XPLR. I mined 1,050 XPLR last cycle for a total of $21.25. Mining balance is sitting at 9,121 XPLR. Mining balance value is sitting at $184.62, and I do hold 3 of those licenses. The debt token, I mined 2.089 debt for a total of $25.53 last cycle. I do hold 16.7 debt tokens in my rewards, and mining balance value is sitting at $204.16, and I do hold 2 of those licenses. NatG, I mined 14,693 NatG last cycle for a total of $5.94. Mining balance is sitting at 412,791 NatG. Mining balance value is sitting at $166.80, and I do hold 1 of those licenses. I mined $90 last cycle. That's the current worth of all my licenses. In my wallet, I currently hold $17,981. Alright, let's get into the big part of this video. I'm sorry I rushed that first part, but this is what I wanted to go over. We've got tokenomics to talk about, or to look at. We've just got all sorts of stuff, so let's get right into it. We'll start with this.
Say, I need to fix this, and he always has. And so it's been a good partnership. Thanks for heading me down that direction, Brian. And I think everybody needs to kind of understand this was definitely a plan B from our original pivot. We do still sell licenses in large numbers directly out to our consumer banks, our investment banks, our financial partnerships, and private sector money. And IX basically does something different. They buy bulk licenses up front in the early phases. They buy them large enough that they get a decent price on them. They wait for my prices to go up on my side, and then they basically market them out at a huge discount. For example, right now on the IX side, I believe you can still buy natural gas. He's got some inventory left for $600 or $6,500. I can't tell you. Brian can probably tell you where he's at, but somewhere in that ballpark. I'm selling those licenses right now for $71 grand. How can he do that? He bought the licenses up front at a wholesale price. It's his inventory. He has it. He owns it. So he's got the ability to basically keep those prices low for his base for as long as possible until his supply runs out, and then he's got to go to a different project. But in general, it's been a good fit, and we work very well together. In fact, he was here 6 hours yesterday. So,
all right. So one thing I want to say about that. If you are interested in purchasing licenses through the IX Global, I can actually start selling them to you for a cheaper price than what the debt box actually sells them for. Basically, what he was saying is IX Global buys a extremely large quantity of licenses, and he owns those. Those are his. Basically, the runner of IX Global, he owns those. Those are his. I can become a part of the selling base. So if anybody's interested, please comment down below, and I can try and get them for you for cheaper. I know a lot of people are already purchasing it through IX Global. That's not something I knew much of about yet. My uncle currently sells them, so I've kind of been learning more and more about it, and I'm sorry I never got into it before, but for anybody that is interested, that is a way that can happen. So just leave down in the comments below, and I can probably help you with that. All right, let's get into the next one.
Is there any body or governing body that could actually give a certification that it's a true blockchain, or verify that it's tight and uneditable, or that the smart contract can't be edited, and give people confidence, like a KPMG stamp, or some of the big four accountancy firms would stamp, hey, these guys' books are right, this blockchain is true, verified? And is there anything like that we could do, or you could consider doing? Or
it's not something that's typically done. We do have a code audit that we do actually have on every one of our tokens. We're about ready to publish. Basically says it's a true blockchain and the smart contract is locked. And that's coming out. We'll be posting those probably by the first week of next month. We had to go through that process. We're waiting for the underwriter to sign off on everything, but we basically have gone through. If I'm lucky, I'll have it back by Friday. I kind of said by first week of next month, because I think we'll probably post everything up by Wednesday of next week on those. But that's the code audits for all of our projects.
Yeah, anybody else got a question there, or anything else coming up there, Kevin, that you want to read?
Awesome. Yeah, no, those were some good ones. I guess he was maybe trying to ask about an audit. I know there's a big company called Certic that does for the smart contract at the very least. Are you familiar with anything like that, Jay?
That's actually what we're announcing next week. So all of our code audits are coming out, and yes, that is the company we use, and yes, it'll be out next. I'm hoping by Wednesday.
All right. There goes 9 questions off my board.
We're working on it.
Yeah, no, but that's really good though. So yeah, for sure. Let me see. So I guess that would also fall into, can it be modified by you guys? I guess it could be, but then it'd be shown that you did something anyways, right? So
yeah, so we have 2 different smart contracts that are available on the Binance network. You can basically do what's called an editable, or you can basically just lock a smart contract. We are actually in a locked currently right now for everything. So how you would see it is I would physically have to change it, and then you would have to hard fork into version 2. So it would not only be very noticeable, but it would be a pain in my rear. but yes, because it'd be a whole other contract ID. The token number would change. It is going to be a major process. We do have some workings of changing the licenses to an NFT. We actually locked the contract down so well in black gold, for instance. We are currently right now working with our programmers to get that to physically work and function on the NFT network as well. We may find our first hard fork, but we have been working on that now for about 3 weeks heading in. But I'll be as transparent as possible. We fixed it on every transaction after that, but black gold being one of our first ones, we're doing a hard fork over to NFTs. We locked that contract down so tight, even getting it to an NFT it's problematic, and we're working on it. And Certic actually found that out for us when we did the audit. So kind of a fun little toy there. But having said that, yeah, it's impossible for us to change anything on our side. It's a locked contract. Right. Well, it's impossible unless it's very noticeable.
Yeah.
So essentially what they're talking about is they're talking about the EGI pool and the burn wallet. Essentially what they're talking about is an audit that will basically verify that it's a true blockchain and that these wallets are not being manipulated by any way, shape, or form. Essentially, they are throwing tokens into these pools and they are not taking them out, especially for the burn wallet. All right, let's get into the next one. I believe this is going to be more about tokenomics and everything like that, and I'm sure that a lot of people have questions about this. Again, if you're interested in watching this whole video, I will leave a link down in the description. I'm just browsing through it a little bit and going over some key things that I think need to be talked about, and they talk about it real well in this video. So if you are interested in seeing the whole video, I will leave a link down in the description below. And shout out to IX Global X Nodes for sharing this video to the public. I very much appreciate this, and I just want to share it to all my viewers. So again, if you are interested, I will leave a full link in the description below.
So,
That's probably a good piece.
Yeah, so I was reading a side question. It was, how do you know what the NFTs are going to be valued at when they basically go up for sale? So on that question, we basically look at everything basically as a supply and demand. We're selling them right now, black gold, for instance, at $50,600. We're able to sell them for that, so I would assume everybody would be able to sell them for that over the course of time. A caveat to that is if a ton of them hit the market at the same time, people trying to cash out. Obviously, if the supply is more than the demand at that particular time, you could see a price fluctuation down. I think these things, because they create a pretty consistent cash flow revenue every single day with the rewards, I'm going to guess a lot of people are not going to sell these things because there's a limited quantity and there's no more. So getting your hands on them, I think, is going to be a harder thing than finding someone that's willing to sell them. Any questions? I don't see any other questions.
Jason, it's Hugh Paul from Ireland. In the network world, we're in danger of, I suppose, securities and trying to, we don't want to get involved in that world, and we want to use the right language. And I'm sure Joe will make the right demands on us to keep the language right. And I would request that if it was possible that you could create some kind of short 7-minute video or 4-minute video that would explain everything, because the information taken from this call and transpired to another.
You did a call for me about 3 weeks ago when I just got started.
Two different revenue sources. Number one is the license itself. After we're sold out, it turns to an NFT. I call that the house, the real estate. The daily rewards are your rents. It's what you're basically getting on a daily basis. So if you look at a standard investor currently right now, and the mortgage rates are going higher, but let's just say even in the prime par of real estate fixing and flipping, you were able to finance, let's say, for 4%. Okay. You're going to buy a $500,000 house. You're going to put $100,000 of raw cash into it. That $100,000 of raw cash is now tied up at virtually no income other than your rents. You have to service the first mortgage. That's going to be about $2,300. Let's say you get $2,500 in rent coming in for that property. You have $200 cash flow a month. That $200 cash flow a month is basically to service your $100,000 you put into the property. Except you may have garbage disposals, you may have a leaky roof, you may have a garage door opener, you may have a garage door itself, you may have other maintenance items that have to go into the property. That eats into your profit running through. What you're really doing is you're putting $100,000 down for a increase in the underlying asset over a 2, 3, 4-year period of time. And you're hoping that property goes from 500,000 to 600 to 700 to get a much better return. In that model, understand we have the exact same thing. You could have bought the licenses originally for natural gas. I believe they went out for $3,000 originally. Those $3,000 licenses right now are worth $71,000 in under 10 months. That happens because the price of the license goes up. For every 100 we sell, it goes up by $100. So as we sell more and more volume and push it through after pre-sale launches, every license goes up in price. Joe and the IX group locks those prices in at pre-launch. At pre-launch, all the licenses we sell stay at the initial starting price. That happens for about a 2 to 3 week period of time before the licenses basically go public. Anybody involved in the ecosystem has the ability to buy licenses first. So in a natural gas item, had you physically came in and spent the $100,000, and instead of putting it into a house that would have basically been sitting there for 2 or 3 years, a natural gas license today makes about $7 a day. Let's just say hypothetically you only bought 10 of them. That's giving you $70 a day coming through. Would you rather have $200 a month for putting your $100,000 in a $500,000 house and being on the hook for $400,000 mortgage? Or would you rather make $70 a day, which is really only at that point in time $30,000 out of your pocket, and you have that now perpetually for the next decade? It's just a mathematical equation of what the licenses are valued at the time versus going. Even today, at $6,000 for IX's price, for 6,500, whatever IX has it for right now, it's a bargain. Currently, right now, there's licenses that are a little bit more in their infancy stages. I think they're about $1,500 to $1,700. They're peaking up right now in price. We always have ups and downs in crypto, guys. Sometimes they kind of go up, people take their money off the table and they go back down. Natural gas is pretty solid right now at these levels, and I think we only have upward gains from here. Aluminum and Explorer only 3 months old, roughly, so you're going to see a little more volatility in the earlier phases of them. But it goes back to what Kevin was kind of talking about, is you're going to be tying up, no matter what kind of asset you buy, you're going to be tying up X amount of capital, and it's how to maximize your upside and minimize your actual hours you have to put into that asset to make it true passive upside potential for yourself. So, all right, Kevin.
Nice.
Shoot them over.
Yeah, very good. So this one's a little bit more intricate, bunch of parts to it. It's just talking about a little bit of the tokenomics. I don't know if you have a set spiel on that, but I'll just give you the gist and you can hit some of the pieces. That are the licenses on the blockchain written on a smart contract? Can a license be stopped from DebtBox? Does DebtBox have the possibility to modify the smart contract? And the duration of the 4,000 cycles of licenses, can it be seen on the blockchain?
Wow, that's a lot. Okay, so so the 4,000. Let's start with actually in the reverse. Yes, everything basically is written in smart contract. We're going to start about the 4,000 because this is actually a misnomer that physically comes up quite a bit. Everybody asks me, so these things only last for 4,000 days and then they're done. It's actually not true. The EGI pool gets divided by 4,000 every single day. So tomorrow it gets divided by 4,000 again. Next week it'll be 4,000 again. The week after that it'll be 4,000 again. So it's not a 4,000 dilution rate. It's a 4,000 divided by what's currently in the EGI pool. The EGI pool is the overall token that is put in. Only one way creates token into the EGI pool, and that's the sell of the licenses when they first come out. It's about a $2,000 valuation goes into every single license into the EGI pool when it's earlier in its infancies. So let's just say we started the token at 4 zeros and a 1. It obviously puts a lot more token in the EGI pool than when it's a penny. And so as the licenses sell out, it will cap the amount of our max supply into the ecosystem for token. Then every one of our projects has a halving in a year period. So for instance, Black Gold right now has its annual burn of 50% of the EGI pool coming up in January. That basically means that every day after January 1st, it's going to mine basically half the amount of token that it mined last year. And what this really is doing is it's shrinking the supply in the open market. And so when everybody looks at a normal project that has, let's say, 1 trillion token out there, and everybody's like, why the heck is the supply so large? You're not wrong. There actually is 1 trillion token sitting in the EGI pool. That trillion token will never see the light of day. What's happening is it was 2 trillion last year before it hit January, got cut in half. This year alone, I think we may have produced 50 billion more tokens for the whole year with license sales because the price of the token's gone up so much. So it produces less token every time the license sells. And so this year, when we basically cut in half again, we went from 2 trillion to 1 trillion. Now we'll be a $500 billion after January. And only about 8% of that, even in infancy, has actually ever been put out to the open market into circulation. I believe our last license sales for Black Gold will be sold out in the next 3 weeks. We have a contract to purchase them. So as long as funding goes through, we'll actually be sold out of Black Gold completely. All of those will be turned to NFTs, and they will be transferable and sellable on the open market. It's actually a huge step forward. It's another road to our progress in DebtBox. We're very excited for that transitional period. And so it's just kind of a time period. I don't like to have competition when I sell stuff, so I just lock everybody out.
That's about it for this. I wasn't exactly sure where the better part for tokenomics was, which is okay. I hope you kind of got some good information from that video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'd absolutely appreciate it. I thank you all for all your support, and I shall see you all in the next one.